he only comes to the meeting once a month. Once a month, you're making big decisions for somebody's livelihood, and that's not fair to them. So go ahead, Stan.
Well, I have a few more comments based on that.
Okay, well,
Trustee,
let him, hold on. You out of floor. Hold on.
No, well, this is the board, so
It is the board.
And so he can wait.
No, he's not going to wait. Come on, trustee, stop.
Well,
You don't have the floor. Trustee, you don't have the floor. I was talking while he was talking. Hold on.
Well, he could talk in a minute.
Let him
This
clear it up.
pertains to what we're talking about right now. First of all, you didn't answer Trustee Carlisle's question.
I did answer her question.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. I did not go round and round.
Second of all, maybe that was better planning. You're acting
Trustee,
like
you don't have the floor.
You're acting
now
like
you
this
see
is.
why residents act that way. When you ain't got the floor, you don't. You do know Robert Rules of Order, right?
Recently, an attorney who was closely aligned with Mayor Tiffany Henyard has reportedly turned against her during a highly charged board meeting. In what has been described as a stunning development, the attorney revealed sensitive information that painted Henyard in a negative light, suggesting corruption and misuse of power.
The lawn care people are.
Yeah, that's what I said.
They got a flat
So why
pay.
can't we pay the...
You missing the point.
Yeah,
you got to do the
flat-
math. You're not doing the math.
per
A
cut.
flat fee per cut.
Yes.
And the kids was $3 or $4 or $5 per cut.
Okay.
When it added up, it was $5,000 or so or more.
Going
every
to
2
you.
weeks.
Going
Every
to
2
you.
weeks.
Going to
When
you.
you do the budget, the numbers I can't remember. I'll come back with them.
Going
Was
to you.
$700,000, $800,000. You gotta listen to what I'm saying.
I am, but it's supposed to be you.
It's still a youth program. Why, okay, hold on. Why do y'all think kids just want to cut grass? It's other stuff we have that youth doing. It's just not grass.
If we
Hold
pay
on,
them
it's not
properly,
just grass.
but if we pay
The
them
kids, the
properly,
youth-
This public betrayal has amplified ongoing suspicions about Henyard's conduct and intentions. Many see this as a clear sign that Henyard's allies are beginning to distance themselves as legal troubles mount.
I would say the last month, things are spiraling out of control. The Carter is burning. People are jumping ship. People are probably finding ways to save themselves. What is going to happen to the Superman Tiffany Henyard? I just can't wait for this next regular board meeting. What is going to happen?
Tiffany Henyard's recent behavior in public meetings has drawn significant criticism, particularly during a recent session where she engaged in a heated argument with the moderator. Henyard, known for her confrontational style, clashed with the moderator over procedural issues, showcasing her unwillingness to be challenged or questioned.
So attorney, we're not answering questions, even though the original agenda was posted that way? It said, the original agenda posted says comments and questions. Well, you guys changed it today when we got to this meeting. Okay, you finished? Okay, again, my comment is public comment, so you can ask. The agenda posted, okay, attorney, the original agenda posted said questions and comments. I saw you look it up. I am correct, right? That the original agenda posted said questions and comments, correct? Because I saw you look it up on your laptop just now.
Well, first of all, I can look up a bunch of things in my laptop. That's the first thing. Second thing is I have absolutely no idea what was posted here at the township. I know what was sent over to me, and I don't know what I have in my hand right here. In my hand right here, it says comments. And
If you are the township attorney, may we ask you for...
Mayor Henyard's ability to persuade and influence has significantly diminished, according to many observers. Her attempts to defend her actions and policies are falling flat as her credibility wanes. During recent public appearances, Henyard has struggled to maintain her authority, often deflecting questions or resorting to vague, evasive responses.
Yeah, who's gonna hold them accountable for that? There are so many other things going on. When you've got an FBI probe, when you've got a police chief in Village of Dalton that is, has been tossed out, and then he gets rehired by Tiff, the super mayor. I mean, you've got some crazy shenanigans going on that are probably way higher in the overall importance of not only running Village of Dalton, but Township of Thornton, which Tiff is, has a senior position in both communities. There's a ton of other issues, especially in Dalton, that are greater than her perceived conflict of interest with the attorney. But this is just one more of those things where the perception is terrible. It's like, hey, we're just asking you a simple question. We've got this attorney here for, you know what's in the back of everybody's mind that's sitting in this meeting. They are thinking, are we paying for this attorney as the Township of Thornton residents for him to basically be here to defend you, Tiff Tiff? Or like you're saying, which they don't believe anything that Tiff Tiff says at this point in time, the super mayor has zero credibility. She has zero. She is losing her power structure as I'm talking right now. As you know damn well, Township of Thornton's probably footing the bill. And that's another big issue is how many attorneys is Tiff Tiff paying right now? Personally, supposedly, personally. You got a defense attorney, and that comes in a 2-pack, apparently. She's had the 2-pack show up at multiple events, right? Meaning the senior attorney and then the junior attorney. And then we've got this Delgado law firm. I thought the Delgado law firm, Delgaldo, I think, law firm, I thought they quit working for the Village of Dalton. I think they quit. I mean, there's all this attorney drama because they weren't getting paid. Shocking. Attorney doesn't get paid. They pull out of a case. Yeah.
At recent public meetings, many have noticed unfamiliar faces, particularly individuals believed to be criminal lawyers, suggesting that Henyard is preparing for legal battles ahead. These attorneys are presumed to be assembling a defense team in anticipation of criminal charges, which could stem from ongoing investigations into her conduct as mayor.
Yeah, it was yet another chaotic village board meeting here in Dalton last night. But during that meeting, a lot of people noticed a couple unfamiliar faces sitting directly next to Mayor Tiffany Henyard. Well, we've done some digging and we've found out who those unfamiliar faces are. They're both criminal defense attorneys that have been hired by the mayor.
Governor J.B. Pritzker was recently asked about the mounting lawsuits involving Mayor Tiffany Henyard during a press conference. In his response, Pritzker remained diplomatically distant, offering no direct comment on Henyard's legal issues, but emphasizing the importance of integrity and transparency in public office. His non-committal stance was interpreted by some as a subtle indication that Henyard's political standing is precarious.
Governor, are you monitoring what's going on in Dalton and Thornton Township and leadership there? Are you concerned? Taxpayers seem very worried. There's chaos at meetings. What can be done? Could you play a role in stepping in some way? What's your take on the situation?
So I've looked at that question, whether the state should and can play a role. The federal authorities, as you may know, are involved and investigating. I've read that. I think that's a public information. There is an investigation that's been called for, and now I know there was a veto that was overridden that will now allow that investigation to go forward with former Mayor Lori Lightfoot in charge of that. I think that those are two pretty good authorities for looking into this, investigating it, and getting to the truth.
And the state,
we'll support them. Well, we looked at whether we ought to put resources, whether it's state police and their anti-corruption efforts, or asking the Attorney General. The reality is that there are already two pretty significant investigations going on, and so we'll support them in every way that we can. But it's really just a matter of, do you want everybody running over each other in those investigations, or do you want two concerted efforts toward getting the facts?
The news cycle has been dominated by a slew of stories about Mayor Henyard and the numerous lawsuits against her. Allegations range from financial mismanagement to misuse of public funds, and each new lawsuit seems to chip away at her public image. The lawsuits have not only painted Henyard as an inept leader, but have also raised serious questions about the legality of her actions while in office. For many residents of Dalton, these legal battles are proof that Henyard's tenure is marred by controversy and misconduct.
Someone is going, because this doesn't make any sense. There must be deals happening right now. There's a new lawsuit, it seems like every week with this group of people. Every week someone else is suing this administration with Henyard, with Keith Freeman. So the newest lawsuit is based on, I think, Tyrone Ism Jr. Ism Jr. We were talking about the barbershop. He was denied a business license after he invested in purchasing and renovating this property. Denial was said to be a part of a pattern of behavior, which we've all seen. It just look up Tiffany Henyard on any platform. You will see story after story after story. People saying she won't allow me to run a business. She wants that property. She wants that for herself or the people that support her. And it's the same thing. It's just making these licensing decisions based on financial and political reasons rather than the merit. So in the typical process, right? Like when people are actually, or the government is actually doing the right thing. In the typical process of issuing a business license, local governments are expected to evaluate applications based on established criteria, like zoning laws, health regulations, safety requirements. So it ensures that all the businesses meet the necessary standards to operate within the community. So applicants should receive clear guidance on those requirements. Because again, you're not trying to shut people out. Like if they need certain things to be done, you want to help them because they're building businesses that's going to help the citizens and will help you in the process. So this process should be transparent. Not you show up and Keith don't even know who you are. Who are you? Did you donate to a campaign? Because if you did, I would know who you are. But if you didn't, like, get out of here. You know? And by being transparent, it allows for a clear, objective review that, doesn't vary based on the applicant's identity or their political or financial connections.
Controversies surrounding her, Tiffany Henyard continues to project an image of herself as the most powerful figure in Dalton. However, critics argue that this belief is increasingly detached from reality as she faces mounting opposition from all corners, including her former allies.
Tiffany Henyard, what are some of these alleged allegations? Give some a little bit of context and background. So Tiffany Henyard is the youngest and first woman mayor of Dalton. And she's now the first woman supervisor of the Thornton Township. She coins herself as the most powerful woman in the Southland of Chicago and the super mayor. Let me give some context to Dalton, the city that she runs. They said it's under 20,000 people. It's not officially a city. It's actually considered it's considered a village, and so. It's a city that 15% of the people are in poverty. It has very high property taxes due to Cook County and the town taxes. There are not a lot of businesses there, and so it's a lot of issues going on with the city of Dalton.
When confronted about her involvement in lawsuits and questions about her ties to a namesake charity, Henyard has consistently denied any wrongdoing. She often deflects such questions or dismisses them outright, portraying herself as a victim of political attacks. However, her denials have done little to quell public skepticism.
Investigates has an update on a questionable cancer charity now being investigated by the Illinois Attorney General. The South Suburban politician who the charity is named after is now denying direct involvement in the foundation that bears her name.
All I can tell you is that I'm not the one on anything. That's the only thing I can tell you right now. So I'm just trying to answer to the
So you're saying there's a foundation that's not registered, but it has nothing to do with you?
Correct. That's true.
Okay.
That's
so you're not aware of any of the work that they've done, money that they've raised, anything along those lines?
Correct.
Okay.
To questions about her heightened security detail, Henyard has claimed that it is warranted and provided by the government.
Investigates has an update on a questionable cancer charity now being investigated by the Illinois Attorney General. The South Suburban politician who the charity is named after is now denying direct involvement in the foundation that bears her name.
All I can tell you is that I'm not the one on anything. That's the only thing I can tell you right now. So I'm just trying to answer to the
So you're saying there's a foundation that's not registered, but it has nothing to do with you?
Correct. That's true.
Okay.
That's
so you're not aware of any of the work that they've done, money that they've raised, anything along those lines?
Correct.
Okay.
Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard appeared on Roland Martin Unfiltered on YouTube last night. It comes after WGN Investigates reported the Tiffany Henyard Cares Foundation claims to support cancer patients but hasn't filed required financial disclosures to say how it raises or spends money. Henyard's claim that she's not involved in the foundation is contradicted by statements at public meetings and social media videos she's posted. As we've reported, her top advisor was also listed as the charity's registered agent. The Attorney General has ordered the foundation to stop soliciting money and is threatening legal action.
Allegations of corruption have dogged Tiffany Henyard throughout her tenure as mayor. Reports of financial irregularities, cronyism, and misuse of power have painted her administration as one riddled with ethical lapses.
Tiffany Henyard is the most controversial mayor in all of America. So this mayor named Tiffany Henyard is the mayor of a place called Dalton, Illinois. And essentially every single resident in Dalton wants Tiffany out of office. This is mainly because Tiffany's very controversial use of taxpayer money. For starters, Tiffany has a full security detail that goes everywhere with her in the town. This security detail is estimated to be about $250K a year. In addition to security, Tiffany also uses taxpayer funds to do things like buying billboards with her face and name on it. She also puts her name all over government vehicles and buildings throughout the town, and she even has her own 2024 calendar, and of course she put her own birthday in the calendar. Now, in addition to all of this, Tiffany has also made it extremely hard for anyone to run against her. Currently, she makes around $225K a year. However, if someone were to run against her and win, they would not be getting anywhere close to what Tiffany's making. This is because Tiffany is proposing a 90% cut in her salary, but only if someone who is not her is elected. This would drop the pay from $225K to just $25K. Yet even with that massive pay cut, people still want to run against Tiffany just so they can get her out.
One of the most frequently cited criticisms of Tiffany Henyard is her perceived arrogance. Her behavior during public meetings, press conferences, and interactions with constituents often comes across as dismissive and condescending. Henyard's critics accuse her of failing to listen to the concerns of Dalton's residents, instead prioritizing her own agenda.
Tiffany has been accused of transferring taxpayer money to a private foundation which bears her name. The Illinois Attorney General has demanded financial reports for this charity, and the FBI is investigating Tiffany's management of Thornton Township. In December of 2023, Tiffany was sued by several members of the Board of Trustees. They accused her of using checks without authorization, refusing to issue payments for invoices approved by the board, and restricting the access of certain financial information from the trustees. Some people believe that Tiffany is concealing evidence of alleged wrongdoing. Tiffany wrote about how, after she was elected as the mayor of Dalton, there was much fanfare during the swearing-in ceremony. It was attended by dignitaries from across the state of Illinois. Tiffany mentioned how she was the first black supervisor of Thornton Township. She wrote how this move sent shockwaves across the state of Illinois. Item number 2. Tiffany is active on social media and has made several posts which can be described as grandiose, attention-seeking, tacky, creepy, and demonstrating a profound lack of insight. For example, she indicated that God chose her, and she referred to herself as God's favorite.
The residents of Dalton have grown increasingly vocal in their dissatisfaction with Mayor Tiffany Henyard. Many feel that she has failed to deliver on her promises and has instead embroiled the village in scandal and controversy. The overwhelming sentiment is one of betrayal, as voters who once believed in Henyard's vision now see her as a liability.
Okay, you're a effing crook, you ugly bee. You will be in prison soon, so get that nasty, greasy black vagina ready for Shaniqua. The inmates will love to have orgies with the racist, crooked mayor. All right, to move on to some more, hey, grifter, maybe learn to effing speak English sometime. Your grammar is atrocious, but I guess that's what can be expected from a mayor who looks like you do. Despicable, savage, monkey, N-word B. And told you better watch your back. And then I did hear some of the voicemails. One just says, F all you goddamn N-words. And you are the first black woman to be in this position.
Yes, in both positions.
In both positions, and the youngest.
And the youngest, yes.
So did this start happening once the news was reporting on what, and we're going to get into what the news has been reporting, but did this start happening before the news reported on you or after?
This happened when the news started reporting on me. Now, we got some emails or some things here and there, but it wasn't this bad. It got worse once the news got involved because they got a national platform.
Right.
So people tend to believe what they see on the news, and they just report things. Anybody can go do an interview with them with no fact checking. Anybody can say anything, and then now that's considered defamation of character. And then now you have to go clean it all up. because now people can put you out there in the bad light, and people tend to believe what they see on the news. And that's why I believe what Trump say when it comes to fake news. Fake news is true, because I'm living it. I'm going through it right now.
Adding to Henyard's legal troubles, one of her attorneys recently quit, reportedly due to irreconcilable differences over her defense strategy. The departure of a key legal advisor is seen as a major blow to Henyard, signaling potential turmoil within her legal team. The resignation has fueled speculation that Henyard's legal challenges are even more severe than previously thought, and that she may be struggling to find competent representation. The lawyer's abrupt exit has been interpreted as a sign that even those closest to her are beginning to abandon ship.
This ultimately leads to his demise as the grip on loyalty and power within his organization is weakened. Kind of sounds like what's happening with the Super Mayor Tiffany Henyard, as we see from now the former lawyer of the Village of Dalton, Michael Delgado, is finally saying, you know what, I am getting out of this situation. What a surprise. Let's check it out right here. So bam. Yep. So we see right here in the Circuit Court of Cook County, Illinois, you see right here, amended motion for extension for the time motion to withdraw pursuant of Illinois Supreme Court rule.
Even members of Henyard's own administration have begun to speak out against her. Several trustees have reportedly leaked information about internal disputes and questionable decisions made by the mayor.
The village has not, and let me repeat that, the village has not complied with these statutory requirements since fiscal year 2021. There's no annual financial report available after 2021, and no audited financial statements after 2021. So what that means is the information that we're providing you has not been thoroughly audited by a CPA, but we do have information coming from an entity that essentially serves as the finance department of the village. Historically, from what we can tell, the village has had small or no full-time financial staff. At various times, statutorily, there's a provision for a city treasurer. None exists and hasn't for some time. There's a provision for a finance director. There's been intermittent people that have served that role, but that role has been vacant as of May of this year. And before that, the person who held the role started working part-time as of the end of December in 2023. So as you can see, given the lean or no financial staff, there's a lot of dependence upon the John Kasparic accounting firm, which is a function operated as a village's finance department for some time.
These disclosures have further undermined Henyard's authority, revealing a fractured administration rife with infighting and mistrust. The trustees' willingness to expose Henyard's missteps indicates a growing divide within the village's leadership, with many officials no longer willing to protect the mayor's reputation.
Historic misuse of taxpayer funds to the sum of, first of all, using the local police as her own personal security detail, costing up to $1 million. She's also being accused of misusing taxpayer money to pay for lavish trips for herself and collecting a combined salary with the supervisor position and her mayor position of $287,000. This is a small town in Illinois, 20,000 people, the highest salary in our U.S. government. She dressed up from that clip I showed you earlier of Nino Brown. So she did this at a board meeting. Not only that, now I'm assuming that taxpayer funds were used to pay for all of this. So she dressed up as him. Her ensemble included a stuffed toy dog at her side, just as Brown had a real one in the movie. Also, she brought in a DJ. During the meeting, Henyard had the DJ punctuate her political points with musical cues, including Rihanna's hit single, "Be Better Have My Money," where she demanded trustees approve a bill for a village ice rink. That is one of 2 ice rink trustees say they never authorized.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.